Very shortly, but let's first up go to Christopher Zinn. Now, one thing, as you know, is that there's been plenty of talk in the last little while about investment advice and the quality of financial planners, all this type of thing. We know that there are some laws to try and create more and better qualified financial planners, which is a good thing. That's to be applauded. But, of course, we know that some big organisations have been able to get around that effectively with 1 to 3 hour courses that give them, if you like, accreditation under the licence of that larger group. And that is not good because it means that they appear to have the imprimatur of being a financial planner or an advisor and yet simply do not have the skills. Then you've got the problems of commissions and, if you like, monetary inducements for those people to sell as much as they can, especially through the Commonwealth Bank. That was one of the fundamental problems that was there that's now been exposed. So what's occurred is Christopher Zinn, who's ex-Choice, of course, and One Big Switch, range of different things, former journalist and a good friend, has come out with a thing called advisorratings.com.au. It's been founded by Christopher Zinn and also Angus Woods, who was the former Chief Financial Officer at Virgin Money. And effectively what they're trying to do is create forums plus a directory of financial planners so that you can help each other to try and find an honest one, which is, I've always said to you, is the most difficult thing of all. And Christopher Zinn's online right now, called advisorratings.com.au. Hello, Chris. How are you doing?
Yes, very well, thank you, Ross.
So why have you done this?
Look, essentially, and it was all the 5 years I've been involved in arguments and consultations about the future of financial advice, people would come to me afterwards and say, I get what you're saying about commissions and conflicted remuneration, but how can I find a competent and trustworthy financial planner? And I could never actually answer that question because there was no one place you could direct people to go. All of it was marketing spin. So Angus and I looked at models like TripAdvisor and all part of this consumer revolution, what's called collaborative consumption, where consumers share the information they have. And we wondered, well, look, if you did this about financial advisors, if people who had some experience of financial advisors shared their experience, rated them, that can drive transparency and competition in a market where those two things are sorely lacking. So that's essentially at the heart of it.
One other part of this also, Christopher, of course, you've got to be obviously conscious of the vexatious client who wants to get at that particular planner. I mean, that's something that you've got to be at least conscious of, don't you?
It is, and that's why verification and moderation are really key to this. So, look, there are some ACCC, the Consumer and Competition Commission, guidelines in terms of what you can do to make sure that comments are fair dinkum and you check them. I mean, the whole reason we're doing this is to encourage trust and confidence in an industry. So we've got to make sure that the comments are fair. So part of it is the consumer comments, and basically we're using questions which ASIC, the Securities and Investments Commission, used in a study they did a couple of years ago in terms of people's satisfaction with the service that they actually received. And we're also encouraging, we've got a database of 18,000 planners. So we're asking them to populate that with their experience, their membership, their compliance in this area. So that's the objective information, and the more subjective information is from the consumers. And we combine that all through with an algorithm, and that comes up with a score that gives some ranking and rating. And look, while no rating system from the Oscars downwards is perfect, we think it does actually give something for people to look at and work with to try and answer that fundamental question.
See, I've got the same problem with you. I would prefer to have an honest financial planner rather than one who's going to shoot the lights out with performance for me. Because I don't think a financial planner should not, in most cases, give you investment advice, for example. They can, but I don't reckon in many cases they should. I think they should give you overall financial advice. And in many cases, if you're competent, you should be able to make your own investment decisions.
Yeah, and look, this is a big misunderstanding about planners. Some people think they're like people who give bookies tips about what horse is going to come in.
There is no guru in this world, Christopher Zinn. That is what you and I have learnt years and years ago and continue to learn. There is no such thing as a guru who's got all the answers, because generally they don't.
Well, they get a run, and sometimes they do, and then they come a cropper. Look, basically a planner has to assess you and your appetite for risk, in terms of the return that you expect and the stage of your life. And they give you the information there and they give you some options. Far too many are deeply aligned with the big banks and AMP in particular. But look, aligned doesn't, some people have an issue with that, but really what we're interested in is expertise and those sort of.
But the truth is, it doesn't stop a person who is in a bank or in an AMP or somewhere from being a very good planner or a very good advisor, so long as you know where the vested interest is and you know that that person is honest, trustworthy, doing the right thing by you. That's absolutely fine. The problem is that that person is mixed up with others who are not as scrupulous and as necessarily honest and putting their clients first. And that is the fundamental, if you like, gap in the knowledge that most people have when they get into these relationships.
And I hope it's that disequilibrium, as it's called, that we can somehow in some small way address with advisor ratings. Because the problem is there's all this argument going on about the regulation, and the Senate will be going on next week. There's not much we can do about that. That's caught in the political maelstrom. But what we can do as consumers is act together, share the information we have, and actually sort of engage with initiatives like this and others that will come along, I hope, to kind of drive change in markets, because I believe if consumer preferences change, if consumers ask better questions of the advisors they use, that will encourage the industry to change from what it has been to the profession that it needs to come and actually put the consumer first. So instead of actually having legal definitions of best interests, which are of course important, the industry or profession, as it should be, recognizes that it has to put the consumer first to grow and flourish and have and people to have confidence.
No doubt about that. Christopher Zinn, as I say, advisorratings.com.au. And Chris, good to have a chat to you.
Thank you very much, Ross.